right, so today we're going to be talking about affirmative to command. So that is the to affirmative command in Spanish. I like to refer to those as mandatos, but you also might hear them referred to as imperatives. So the to affirmative command is when we tell somebody who is our friend or maybe our son or daughter, or maybe even our mom or dad, we want them to do something. So for example, in English, I might say, clean your room or walk the dog. Those would be a to affirmative command. So to affirmative commands are pretty easy for us. So in order to form regular to affirmative commands, we use the third person singular. So third person singular is the él, ella, usted form. It's that bottom left-hand box if you're using box conjugation squares. So that is the third person singular conjugation in the present indicative. So in the present indicative. Present indicative is often taught in Spanish 1, so you might know the present indicative from Spanish 1, often referred to just as the general present tense, but it is in fact the present indicative. So if I were to use the verb comer, comer means to eat, my command, third person singular, present indicative, would give us come. So when I say come, I'm saying eat, like I really want you to eat this, eat, come. We could use the verb correr, maybe you're in an emergency, the verb to run. That command would look like corre, run. And one more, we can use the verb bailar, which is to dance, and that would give us baila, dance. So pretty normal, those regular to commands. We do have some irregular commands, so our irregular commands. I like to know my irregular commands by a song. It's pretty high-pitched. So that song would be Osten pondi salve se ven. So if you write those out, right? Os, ten, pon, di, sol, be, say, ven. Osten pondi salve se ven. I say those in my head a lot. So these equate to a verb, obviously. So os comes from the verb osser. So instead of using that third person singular conjugation in the present indicative, when I want to say do your homework or make your bed, I'm going to use os instead. So I might say os la tarea or os la cama. Ten, as you may have guessed, comes from the verb tener. So instead of using the third person singular, I'm using this irregular, ten. So if I want to say be careful, I'm going to say ten cuidado. Pon comes from the verb poner. So I might say pon la mesa, set the table. Di comes from the verb decir, so I might say di la verdad, tell the truth. Sal comes from the verb salir, so I might sal la clase, which means leave the room. They comes from the verb ir. A lot of people think it's ver, but it's actually the verb ir. So they means go. So go. So I might say ve al tu dormitorio. Go to your room. Say comes from the verb ser. So I might say sé un buen chico. Be a good boy. And ven comes from the verb venir. So I might say come here, ven aquí, ven aquí. So there you have two affirmative commands. If it is a regular verb, you conjugate it in the third person singular of the present indicative, such as come, corre, baila. And if it's irregular, right, it's going to be one of those osten, pon, di, salve, se ven. And those are going to be those irregular forms.